Bloody hell, man.
Or he's had his head enlarged.
To fit his head.
Yeah.
Mm.
You were saying, Con, Mumbles always...
Yeah, I was just checking out the Langland page, I of Langland. And there's a lot of talk about pollution and shit. Is it really that bad or what?
No, I personally, I don't think, like, you don't see anything.
All right, okay.
Any measurements or not.
So, okay, so it's like in the microbacterial sizes.
Well, there's a lot of discharges now, a lot more than there used to. Well, we don't know. We never really knew how many discharges there were. And even now, even though they discharge stuff out there, I think it's not it's not raw sewage, but
No, it's semi-treated, isn't it?
Yeah, but they don't measure how much they send out.
Okay.
Or what concentration it is. So none the wiser. All you know, it's been pouring it out for 2 hours or something.
Yeah,
it's above a certain level, which they have to notify the public to say it's unsafe for bathing.
Mm. So it's not like what it used to be where single nostril pouring down radioactive waste from the scanners and stuff down the sink sort of thing.
Yeah, they take the big bits out now, Con.
They take the big bits out. Well, that's that's amazingly incredible, isn't it? They're so thoughtful, these people.
I know.
You don't get any wee green shiny bits of stuff floating in the water anymore. God, Lord.
I remember a conversation about this a while back when Dave was on, yeah? And I was saying, God, I can't remember now where it was. And I said I was looking off a cliff somewhere, and there was just this big brown circle, and I described where it was, and Dave said, yeah, there's an outlet right by there.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And
there's a lot of stuff in the sea at the moment, down Langland, but it's what they call May bloom. It's something to do with the algae in the water at this time of year, and there's loads of it down Langland. It looked awful, but someone had posted it. It was just algae, not sewage.
All right.
But I don't think you see the sewage unless it's coming out of the pipe. You know, it's.
Yeah.
I think as we said, Biscuit, I think there's 4, maybe 5 outfalls between Mumbles and Brandy Cove, I think.
But hasn't there always been those outfalls?
Yes.
Yeah, but the treatment plants now, they treat it.
All right, so we've become soft, well, not soft, but no, I'm just trying to, it makes me wonder a little bit of why we didn't die when we were younger surfing. But then
we didn't know then, did we?
What you don't know about doesn't kill you. Well, we did know because we were surfing in it. Surfing
the germs weren't as bad.
Huh?
The germs weren't so bad then.
No, but maybe we were tougher.
Could have been.
But I can
more
remember.
Resistance.
Oh no, I can't point at it now. Ironically, the backdrop that I got by there now, I was in there on the paddle board probably 2 years, 3 years ago, and paddling round about just off my shoulder, and I just paddled into a patch, and there was all this little, I would have said brown because that's the first thing you think of, but and because the top of my paddle board is sort of mainly white and yellow, it stood out like a sore thumb, and I thought, Jesus, don't. I think I've said about this before. And I thought, for God's sake, don't fall off by here. And you sort of try to sort of grip as much as you can with your toes to make sure you don't lose your balance. But I can remember trying to paddle out a bit as quick as I could, and then trying to chuck water across the board to get the stuff off there.
What time of year was that?
It would have been summertime.
So, as you say, round down by the pier there, or rather, the lighthouse, and as you
Yeah.
back.
So, I mean, there obviously is an outlet in Bracelet because that's one of the ones that Howard has described,
Mhm.
the last few days. Because I think there's one in Bracelet, there's one in Limeslade, there's obviously one in Rotherslade.
And, yeah,
So
I
what's
don't,
it?
I
You
don't
know when
think
it
it's
comes
people.
up, every time, when we've had heavy rainfall, and then they have to release this, that, and the other. What is going on? What the storm?
The
Why
storm
did they have
water
to?
is entering the.
I think
There's
it's
so
just the
much
volume of
rainwater, it's
water they
entering the
got
foul
that they
water
got to.
system, and it just bursts up. It's just too much for the treatment plant to cope with. So it just outpours. It fills up the treatment plant, and just pours out to the
So the
outlet.
treatment, right? So the treatment plant also intakes surface rainwater,
No,
is it?
no, but when it's raining really heavily, the
Yeah.
surface water gets into the sewage pipes.
How?
Cut a long story short, all the drainage in most of Swansea's old, most of the joints have leaked. And the surface water builds up in the ground, so the groundwater levels start to rise underneath the pipes to the point where it's above the pipe level, and the pressure of the outside surface water gets forced into the joints in the foul pipes, and then surcharges the foul pipes with surface water. That ends up in the treatment stations, and it can't cope with this foul and the surface water at the same time.
So
Well,
when they
thank,
release,
thank you, Dr. Robert Fisher from.
They don't actually release it. It's just an excess, and it goes into the sea anyway after it's treated. But so much comes in, it can't treat it all. So it just goes through the treatment plant and out untreated.
But you know this, Skipper, there's also a lot of places that their foul water, their rainwater run into their foul water system anyway.
Well, they do. A lot of the old drainage systems were just connected into the rainwater connected into the foul water pipes.
From
power pipe connected to the.
from what I'm about to say now, I'm probably going to get a good sledging from this from a few people. I don't give a fuck, basically. But don't you think back in the 60s or 70s, there was so much, and I'm glad it's all cleaned up now. But there's everything coming down in the Swansea Valley, everything coming down from Clifton, the nuclear power station up in Bristol. It was Cardiff, all that was coming into the Swansea Bay. Greenpeace said it was one of the most polluted places in the world. Okay, Carwin and everybody, we were all onto it, and people were getting bad years and troughs and cuts that wouldn't heal up, right? But now, and that was serious stuff, serious, pathogens that had the capability of killing you. But now they got treated shit going out, which cuts it really down to smaller bits, right? And all of a sudden there's a mass panic on, like we're being attacked by a fucking herd of triffids coming in from Mars or something like that.
Yeah. We're getting so much rain, the volume of foul water entering the sea is unprecedented now.
What you mean? We have no rain now that we used to?
You could say that.
Yeah.
We've had the wettest 6 months on record.
Well, I'm doing my bit now anyway, because
You're not pissing, you stop pissing in the sea, have you?
whenever it rains, I don't go for a shit.
You must be very constipated then, Andrew, because look out for
While I think of it, I'm not sure if you've all had one as well. Well, not all. Michael, and it's only me, you, and Howard. The demon, the whatever, has now sent me a personal message. I've done the whole thing, totally ignored, no comment, not even made a no comment, or send her a little emoji of a finger. So now, have you seen it, Michael?
No,
Right, so see if I can think I can call it up on my phone, but it's coming as a personal message on my message service, and it's something like, let me see if I can find it on my phone. Hi Sam, blah 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 blah. I'd like to have an open debate via the public about the situation that's going on up there. I really like your input. And she said she sent you. Here we are. I got it here now. I managed
Yeah, I
to.
got it. I got one from her as well.
Here we are. Hi Sam, I've appreciated your comments on the non-native species, etc. Well, and would like an opportunity to discuss this matter in open and in public. I'm an associate professor of ecology at Swansea University to explain my interest in this matter. I look forward to being to chat about this issue. I have messaged Howard, Michael, and Paul with this request as well. And I mean, it's well, what I can't fathom is you go to her Facebook page, and there's nothing on it. She's no friends, nothing. It's just that there. And I mean, is it worth even
Sam, I just replied to her just before coming on here saying, because she said on mine, oops, I didn't realize you lived in France. And I saw you sent one back saying, doesn't matter if I live in France or not, blah, 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 blah. But if you want, I'll have a chat with you and we can have a face-to-face on FaceTube, on Facebook. So I'm waiting for a reply. So I'll have a chat with her. She was up to.
She's probably got
more than... Who said it? How do you know it's a she?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we... Lutra. What kind of name is that? And there's no details. So she's got the trouble of actually being on Facebook. Yeah. But, I mean, that last one, did you see it, Michael? She sent the two little bits... Pardon?
I haven't really looked, to be honest.
What?
Didn't respond, boys.
Right, well, let me explain. All right, let me finish the sentence and explain quickly. We can move on then.
Go on.
She sent up on whatever it is, the little tabs underneath the lilac. I thought, oh, these are wedged in. Leave those there. So then I sort of said, oh, there you are, Superman. I've taken away the ones around the rosemary. Oh, my hero, blah, blah, blah. I said I didn't bother with the others. I said they wedged in tonight, too tight, the wind wouldn't move them. About a day or so later, she'd been down there, she got them out, took a picture of them on the path. These are the pieces of litter you left behind. And I wanted to reply.
No,
I didn't even attempt to move it. She's,
Yeah. I think litter is only litter if you intend not to pick it up again. I think they were there to be picked up later. So it's not actually litter.
What? She called them litter.
Yeah, I know, but litter is something you don't intend to
you deliberately put on the ground and don't pick up.
Yeah.
So she said, this stuff would slowly degrade and it would be absorbed into the Badlands.
I just find it funny because those things will have as much effect as biscuits shitting on the sea.
Well, obviously,
I feel like saying she got this thing about area of outstanding natural beauty, and you think, so what is that great big development on Plunge Lynn?
Yeah, I know. I mean, the whole field's been taken over, so she should have gone. No, he should have gone and tied himself to the railings or something. That would have made a difference.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
She's also ranting now, but the outfall.
Well, she sent a thing saying, I'm awaiting your reply. So I thought,
I think it's good that people bring these things up. I mean, they're like, if it was Japanese knotweed, I could understand it a little bit, perhaps, but not that. I understand the thing about the outfall, which I think the outfall is just a sluice pipe from behind the flats, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's not going to be a shit pipe, is it?
No, it's not the flats.
It doesn't look like
the red pointer that she's put there is nowhere near the flats, is it?
No.
It's off Beaufort. Is it Beaufort? I can't remember what it's called now.
Beaufort
Anyway.
Avenue, is it?
It's up
Beaufort
Higher
Avenue.
Lane way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Beaufort Avenue.
But when I don't know if you know this, somebody down the other side of the hill, on Mumble side, found a tunnel there that goes all the way through, that comes out in Rotherslade. So I wouldn't be surprised if lots of toilets actually used something like that to empty their waste at some point. Because it's all downhill from the top of the hill, isn't it? There's a lot of fissures in there, isn't it, in the rock? So if you build a house there in the 1600s, there wouldn't be any sewerage pipe, so you would have dumped it all down a hole.
If you built the house in the sort of 1950s, you would have found the nearest crack in the ground, and that's where it went.
Yeah.
A lot of houses in Limestone, Langland, Merton, Bishopston all end up in crevices.
Yeah,
There
it's a place
no
that
foul
facilitates.
water in some of these areas.
Is Limestone and a place that facilitates cracks? Is it?
Yeah. But the good thing about it filters through, so it's probably very pure at the end of it.
Mm.
It's I'm going back to what you were saying something earlier. Well, the other problem is there's so many new buildings now compared to what there was sort of 40 years ago. I mean, I think it's about 30% more. But again, probably Kipper knows this, but I think it's about 30% in the last 50 years as the building population has increased. So we haven't increased the sewer sizes or anything. We just keep building more and more buildings. So more and more buildings mean more and more toilets, I'm afraid.
It's the same everywhere, and you know we've all realised now that whichever sewage company talk about, they haven't improved their systems. They just handed money out to shareholders instead of putting the money into the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the way business works, isn't it? You know. But the service you've got to give to the people. Shareholders need the money to buy a new house or a new car.
Just wonder how they manage in places like Japan or somewhere like that, Buenos Aires, where there's a huge amount of people in a.
Well, Mike, did you know that they eat their own shit with seaweed?
Right now,
In Japan, you're probably okay. But if you live in Buenos Aires, you're probably going to die.
It's just the nuclear bits on the end of it that get them.
Yeah.
This is being very flippant. I'm being very flippant today. I'm sorry.
That's the French in you coming out, Con.
Ooh la la.
Yeah. But see, the French don't do it. They'll go and stick a few lorries, burn a few sheep, and they'll have their protest, won't they?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. We tend not to do that anymore.
Oh yeah, in a day and a half, we wanted to.
Yeah.
How did the gig go last night, Sam?
Pardon?
How did the gig go last night?
Oh, it was great, lovely. The weather stayed fine until just as we finished, and then just as we were packing up, it was just sprinkling coming down. But I mean, we were all inside the marquee, and all the people were, and they've got a load of big parasols up. But I mean, it was fine. Had a really good crowd, you know.
Excellent.
So it was good.
Where was that, Sam?
See what?
Where was that?
The railway.
All right. Yeah.
I sent all my posts. And we're in the tavern on Wednesday now in the Uplands.
Oh, great.
Really good.
Wait, what's the tavern now?
The Uplands Tavern.
The Uplands, formerly Uplands Hotel, yeah? Is that the same one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the Uplands, the main sort of, watering hole in the Uplands.
Yeah, no, they just keep changing. Like you got St. James is called something else.
Oh, I think the Uplands Tavern has been called that for about 30 years.
Is it? Oh, I don't know. I mean,
I seem to remember last time I was back. We went for a pint in the Uplands Tavern. Might have been with you, Kip. I can't remember.
Could have been many years ago when we ended up in that Thai restaurant next door, is it?
I think so, yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah. The rest is lost. I can't remember.
So where were you last year, Con? I mean, 3 moons ago?
Let's go about 10, 15 years, something like that. It must be at least.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Oh, I didn't know you'd popped back so recent.
Yeah, I've been away a couple of weeks, like.
He had to come and collect his pension.
No, I get it sent. It gets sent over here now. We like these little luxuries in life. That's the one thing that amazed me is when I got my pension. I count myself very lucky, actually. Very, very lucky. It seems to me that if you live abroad and you deal with the people over here that are working over here for the British government, things get done so much quicker over here. Like my passport was done in 3 days. Changed my passport in Paris. Didn't have to go there, just posted it. In 3 days, and you do it by post in Britain. How long is it going to take you? You know, at least a week, wouldn't it?
Oh,
The rest.
like if it was a week.
Yeah.
Lucky if you get it back in the post.
But anyway, and the same was with my pension, because they sent me a letter telling me that, this is what you have and this is what you're going to get, because they must have been in liaison with the French people who I retired at 60 here. So the British people must have been in liaison together, and they got it all sorted out between them, So it's amazing. I
In this
thought
country, they don't tell you when you should have it.
Huh?
In this country, they don't tell you. When I was 65, I asked for my money, and they said, "Oh, you're not. It's another 6 months." I said, "Well, I'm 65." "Oh, yeah, but didn't you realise the government had changed it?" So I left it for 6 months, rung up again. "Oh, if you leave it in, you'll get 6% added to it." I thought, "Oh, well, I don't need them, still working," so I left it in. Come about 18 months later, I said, "Oh, I'm going to take my pension now and the lump sum that I've saved up." "Oh, didn't he tell you? You don't get that anymore. That gets added to your pension fund at £18 a week for the next 30 years.
Oh,
So got stuff good and proper.
Yeah.
So you're getting your pension now then?
I do get it now, yeah.
All right. So you have actually retired?
No, still working, but you can still get your pension even though you're working. Most
All
people
right.
carry on working even though they get the pension.
All right.
The problem
Apart
is
from some lucky people.
So you're paying tax on tax on tax.
Yeah.
So it's the women, the ones that have suffered, really.
God, yeah.
I forget what they call now. What do they call them?
Women who got shafted by the government, I think.
Yeah.
Uh,
They've got to wait
Is
till
it
it's 67, haven't they?
like waspies or something like
Yeah,
that.
mostly. Well, Sheila lost £40,000
Yeah.
because they didn't tell her that she wasn't going to get a pension.
Yeah, Marion was
Because
one
she
of
made
those.
inquiries. Yeah.
Marion
Well,
lost
it's
it for
all our ages, isn't it?
That's really sad, that, isn't it? Because, imagine people have worked all their bloody life thinking, all right, I'm going to be, getting there now. Soon I'm going to get my pension. And all of a sudden, they plonk another 6 or 7 years on.
Well, people retired because they thought they were going to get the pension money. So they retired out of their job, went to get their pension. Said, "Oh, no, you got to work for another, 5 or 6 years." And they go, "Well, I'm got a job now. What am I going to do?" Sorry, it's your fault. You should have realized. They should have all been told, but they weren't.
Well, I don't know. Anybody got a letter about this?
No. I don't know anybody.
Bit like Brexit, isn't it? The biggest kept secret in the world.
Yeah, they told us what we thought we wanted to hear, but then did something totally different, or didn't do the things they said.
Didn't do anything. Mm.
But this government just we're getting stiffed all the time, aren't we?
One of them will do it. If it's not one, it's the other.
Well,
I don't think a change of government will make much difference.
No.
There's no money. There's no money left in the pot, is there? So what are they going to do? Not a lot they can do.
No, there was never everything. We sold everything, haven't we?
Yeah.
There's nothing
We're
much
doing
left.
our national service now.
Yeah, well, See, no, I don't know if that's a bad idea or not. Because I know people in Greece and they do it for 2 years. And all the guys I know that have been on it, the children of people I know, they've all really enjoyed it. You know, they've had a good time. You know, they've been stationed. They're in Greece. They don't send them out of Greece, but they send them to, like, if they're from the south, they send them to the north and vice versa.
Mhm.
So I mean, but they've all had a good time, and they've all come out of it. Perhaps better people. I don't know.
I think so too.
Fitter people, probably.
I don't think I've
Oh,
ever
fitter,
heard
yeah.
anybody in this country that did it, you know, that up until it was stopped, and they all said it was great. It was hard probably to start with the first couple of weeks, I suppose, but they all said they were glad they did it.
Well, the thing
Yeah.
is, you do learn discipline, and you know, you're in the army. You've got to do, or whichever force you go into, you get told to do something, and you do it. The
Yeah,
trouble is, kids
yeah.
today, someone says, "Oh, you got to do so and so." Oh, I'm not doing that. Why should
No.
I do that? Because you've been told to do it. So what? I don't want to do it.
The
Yeah, what
problem
are you
is, Kip, which
what
none
are
of
you gonna
us,
do?
I think, probably realise, is that the people in the army that want to go in the army don't really want all these people who don't want to be in the army.
Probably not. Yeah. There's nothing worse
So,
than trying to train somebody who doesn't want to be trained.
exactly, yeah. And so,
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, in places like Greece, they can still punish people without sort of any repercussions. You can't here, can you?
Yeah.
You know, can you imagine what would
Well,
happen?
you know, you can't give them a good spanking, can you? You know.
Well,
No.
yeah, it was much a spank. Well, it probably was actually. Like they used to. One of the things they used
Good
to find,
whipping up against the pillory, you know.
they used to make them fight each other. Con, if two of them had done something wrong, they'd fight each
Yeah.
other, but they'd fight for their group of people, sort of thing. So if in their tent or whatever it was, if they did something wrong, they'd be put against another tent, and the winner then would get something for his tent, and the
Is
loser wouldn't
Sam
get anything.
sleeping?
So, sorry,
Is Sam sleeping?
well, he moves now and
Maybe
then.
Sam?
I
Yeah,
don't know if he's frozen.
You were talking there, Mike, about Greece, and when I was working back in the West Midlands, one of the guys there was a Greek family, but he was been living here all his life, and he went to Greece on holiday, and he came off the plane and showing his passports, and they said, "Come this way, please," and took him into a small room. Said, "You haven't done your national service." He said, "What do you mean? I don't live here." He said, "You've got a Greek family, Greek parents." Yeah, he said, "I've been living in Britain for the last 20 odd years." Yeah, but you still haven't done your national service. And I think they kept him in for a day. And he managed somehow to say, "Well, you can't do it." And his consulate got involved, and they said because he'd been out of Greece for so many years, he didn't have to do it. But he was really crapping himself.
yeah.
Yeah. If I remember what they used to do, you either went in the forces. If you felt sort of you didn't want to be in there for whatever reason you had, they put you in the police or the hospital to do it there. So,
Well, we're doing the arm with it, putting people to help in the hospital. They could do the help.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was it. But here it'd be slave labor, wouldn't it? So we probably wouldn't allow it because they only get paid about £10 a week, I think, when they do it. They get all their food and everything and accommodation, but then they get paid about £10 a week. So
I think the idea would be that first of all those people on the door would be taken in,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's good.
No comment.
Well, I was talking to somebody today about this universal credit, and I don't know if any of you are on it or know about it, but I just don't understand. I can't see how it's sustainable.
It's
I
not.
just can't see it.
It cannot possibly sustainable.
Well, we seem to be going along with it still, though, don't we?
What?
I understand if you've got a job and you're not earning enough, they give you more to make up the difference.
Yeah.
So you
don't work very hard then, do you? Because you don't want to work hard, you get more money. If you get more money, you lose all your own benefits.
Yeah.
Everybody's working at the slowest pace possible.
And people are working 3 days a week instead of 5 because then they get less money, so they can claim more money. It's just it's weird.
And if you're on the benefits,
I thought I understood it, but I was talking to some people today how it worked, and it's just beyond. It's nonsense.
Well, I think you
Yeah.
need a degree in something to work the system, because there's a lot of people working it very well.
Well, what this guy does, he explains people how to get the best deals. You know what they should do, what they shouldn't do, basically. But I think a lot of people are like, and I'm not having to go at immigrants, but there's a lot of people that support immigrants and tell them how to do it and claim money, sort of thing. But if you're an inhabitant from this country, nobody actually tells you that, do they?
Yeah.
You know, they haven't got an apartment. They'll say, "Oh, this is how we can help you." They normally just palm you off to everybody else. But that's his sort of, that's how he earns his money now. I think just telling people the best way to work out their life for doing. To be honest, for doing less to get more.
Yeah. Well, you know, you see all these adverts at the moment every day on Facebook. You get so many free solar panels, free air source heat pumps, free cavity wall insulation. You know, you got to tick one of the boxes. You know, you got to be on some sort of benefit. Once you tick the box for the benefits, you get all this sort of stuff. It's up to 50 grand worth of insulation and heating just for ticking on the boxes.
I've never gone into them either. I've seen them. I just whiz past them.
This is I try to get it from my dad, and this is the problem. I say, well, you ask all these questions. He said he's 93, he's got a heart condition, he can't walk very far, blah 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 blah. How much money does he? Does he? He's got a pension. Yeah, he gets a standard pension, and he's got a small works pension. Nope, that's it. If you get any other money, you won't get it. I said, so he's worked all his life. He's 93. You know, done everything, saved all his money, and because he's been good, he's going to get shafted. And the bloke said, well, and you know, if he saved his money and he gets a works pension because he's worked all his life, he's not going to get any free benefits.
Yeah, you better.
That's really sad. You should have a bonus merit pension or something like that, shouldn't it?
Done his national service, he was there.
You know, he worked all your life, you know. God, I can't even imagine working all your life. No. No, it doesn't sort of it doesn't work, does it?
Some sort of horror movie. It's flashing through your brain, Con.
I had a big flashback there. It was like a nightmare in Elm Street. Because I didn't start working until I was about 55, and I didn't know that.
No, that's not true. You started working, you were about 16.
Oh yeah, I did an apprenticeship. Yeah, I did an apprenticeship. Yeah, and that was it.
Such a miserable git in my life.
Yeah, that was bloody horrible. No, it was good. I enjoyed it actually. I really enjoyed that. But you know, 3 weeks when I finished it, I got my papers and everything. As soon as I got my papers, it was like in a May time or something like that. And so my summer was planned out in front of me, like, you know, I got my pen, but right, in the beginning of May, I said, right, I'll give you a month's notice, I'm off. He said, boss said to me, what? I said, well, you know, I've given you 5 years now. Thank you for it's been great working here, but now I got to spread my wings and I'm going. She said, where you going? You got another job then, have you? I said, yeah, I'm going to work in France. Oh, yeah? What are you going to do? Going surfing. He couldn't. He said, all right. That was Don Nixon, man. He was great. He's fabulous, Don Nixon.
I'm going to ask you a question, change the subject completely. Where does Jeff live now?
Jeff, who, my brother?
Yeah.
Down in Plymouth.
Plymouth, all right.
Yeah.
I just wondered, I've never seen him sort of anything about him around this way.
Well, he was living for a bit in about 15 years ago. He was living in West Cross, at the bottom of West Cross, in those little flatlets on the left at the bottom, you know.
Right, yeah.
But, so I remember going over there to see him. And then he met someone down in Plymouth, and he got married again, and you know, he's got 5 kids, 5 sons.
Is it?
To his ex-wife. I can't go into the details about this because this won't be good.
And he's only little.
Huh?
And he's only little.
Ooh, Jeff.
Well, my memory of him is only about that big.
No, he's a little bit big. He's bigger than me now. He's huge. Bloody hell. I remember the first time he punched me. Bloody hell. I was in shock. So I had to punch him back.
You're right, Sam. Look knackered.
Yeah, I am. I'm quite sort of. I'm sitting quite comfortable here, and I'm just. I've had a physical day yesterday, and I did a 4-hour tiger workshop this morning, so I'm a bit sort of, you know.
That's
we
all right.
lost you there.
I was getting worried I was going to call 911 or something like that, you know.
I suppose the adrenaline and everything, and setting up and putting things away and everything is quite a task, isn't it? Doing the sort of gig. I've never done it.
Yeah, because what you do, you set it all up, you do the gig, you pack it all up, you still adrenaline's still running, and then I got to bed and had a good 7 or 8 hours sleep, but then I got up earlier than normal, did another sort of 3 or 4 hours, and then for a while you're still adrenaline, then you stopped, and you sort of and you come down then, and it's like Christmas Day, lunch, sit down, comfy chair, gone,
For me, to sit there in a comfy